Welcome to the MLB Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guys Mo Nawara and Nate Weitzer. Mo is currently traveling on his way to Vegas. We wish him luck in some stuff that he'll be getting into out there. We are going to roll on here with a Thursday night schedule in the MLB for you guys, with plenty to choose from here. We got some best bets in here. Also want you to head to thelines.com. Make sure you're checking out all the great articles Mo, Nate, and the gang have up there. Got plenty of MLB action, still finishing off those NBA finals as well. So I want you to head over to thelines.com and make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us each and every weekday of this MLB regular season. And if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for Thursday night's slate. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, as usual, there's a lot of afternoon games here on a Thursday. Some intriguing pitching matchups for sure. Cy Young candidates in McClanahan, Burns going for the Brewers. Dodgers and White Sox, an interesting game there, but we're concentrating on the night games to give you plenty of time to get your wagers in here. It starts at 6:40 p.m. where Strasburg is making his season debut for the Nats in Miami. They are plus 122 are the Nats on the road. A's plus 150 at Guardians. The Pirates plus 225 at the Braves. Yankees minus 210 at Twins. O's in a toss-up at the Royals. And then the Red Sox are slight favorites, plus 108 at Ohtani and the Angels as they try to snap that 13-game skid. Let's look at that one first, guys. I mean, at some point, baseball, you have to get a win here. The ball has to bounce your way, and it probably happens with your best pitcher on the mound. Ohtani, his ERA is higher than it has been, but definitely has been unlucky with the 330 BABIP on very low exit velocity. The barrel rate is very high. That does explain some of this hard contact, but still a 15% swinging strike rate, totally elite. He dominated this Red Sox lineup with 11 Ks over 7 scoreless last month. And I just think this is the time, moving on from Joe Madden. Now the Angels with their ace on the mound, they're going to get a win at some point, even without Mike Trout in the lineup. I think they get to Nick Pivetta, who's been pitching out of his mind lately. 5-0 with a 1.5 ERA, 0.7 whip in his last 5. But he's still getting hit hard, much harder than Ohtani, 43% hard hit rate. Average exit velocity is 91, and his fastball's down 2 miles per hour this year. His swinging strike rate, 9.5%. I think if you just follow the numbers here, got to favor the Halos, but their offense without Trout and Ohtani's ability to limit Boston also makes me lean under here where you can get it at 8 runs. Seems like a good play, as well as if you don't trust the Angels to snap out of this losing streak.
Yeah, I'm interested in the under here. I'm not usually wanting to throw like certain games away. I just roll my eyes and these 5 games, this pitcher did great, or, those other 3, he sucked, but we'll ignore those. But there really does seem to be like a demarcation on Pivetta's season where after his first 3 starts, he's got 2.67 ERA, 2.88 FIP, 3.83 xFIP. I'm wondering if he's found a way to get some sort of sticky stuff back in there, honestly, because his spin rates are awesome. They're up from last year. So he's hammering the top of the zone really well, honestly, with his heater. So I guess he's finding a way to overcome throwing 93 because he's still below last year's velocity. He was up to 94 last start, though. That's intriguing if he can keep that up, but who knows? And like you guys said, Ohtani, he's actually been tremendous. Does not deserve his ERA. 2.61 Sierra still, and more than 15% swinging strikes. That's super elite territory. And there's not much left in this Angels lineup at this point. Everyone knows about Mike Trout going down. They say he's day-to-day, so I guess he could play. I wouldn't expect it. But also Taylor Ward, he's been gone. He's been damn near MVP level for them too. And man, these guys they have plugged in. Tyler Wade, Joe Adele, Andrew Velasquez. These guys are just not good at all. I was looking at some of their profiles. If you add up their K minus BB percents, you're damn near pushing 100 for those 3 players. I I am worried about these atrocious bullpens. So if you want to be a little more careful, wouldn't hate just confining this one to first 5.
Yeah, if you wanted to take a total, that's where I would go. I mean, it's a story of two pitchers sort of receiving opposite results despite pitching sort of oppositely, if you will. I mean, it basically, Shohei's the best pitcher ever, maybe with a 3.99 ERA through this many starts at this point. I mean, his fastball, I believe we talk about, is 2 miles per hour on average right now, faster than last season. So he's continuing to lean on that. He's definitely got, obviously that elite slider as well, which he's using as well this year. So all the numbers really indicate he shouldn't be that high. Obviously that 15% swinging strike rate is really, really nice as well. So he's getting guys to swing and miss. And, Pavetta's got that really low BABIP. Obviously, it's a little bit different story for him. So, I mean, I'm kind of staying away from the total and just really believing that it's time for these Angels to get out of their slump here and get back to at least on a 1 win here for a little bit. Although it's not really looking good the rest of the season, I wouldn't necessarily rely on Mike Trout coming back and being himself for a little bit at this point, according to some of that stuff too. So, not looking great for the Halos. Definitely tough to be an Angels fan these days. I'm saying that as a Mets fan, so, and I'm giving you guys my sympathy. So I totally get it. Let's move on to another game here. We got an NL East clash. The Marlins are taking on the Nats in Strasburg. They are plus 122 on the money line. There are the Nationals taking on the young Trevor Rogers. Total of 8 runs, minus 102 to the under there. Kick us off with what you like in this game, Nate.
Kind of like the under here as well. I know Strasburg is much more of a wild card as he comes off the long layoff, just 7 starts since 2019. And he's been rough in those starts. I know he hasn't really ramped up in the minors. He's allowed 3 earned over 13.2 innings in those rehab starts. But let's just say he probably is saving something in the tank here. A guy with such a history of injuries that he doesn't want to blow something out before he even gets back to the bigs. Hopefully the pitching staff told him to take it a little easy there in those minor league starts, and maybe he'll unleash a little bit more here against the Marlins. It is a team that they strategically set him up to debut against because he's dominated. In his last 17 starts against the Marlins, he's 12-2 with a 1.9 ERA, 5.0 K to walk ratio. And just the way these teams, there's so much familiarity here that they've been able to limit the opposing best hitter, if you will. Garrett Cooper leading the Marlins with a 305 average. He's hitting 174 against the Nats. Juan Soto is 3 for 17 without an RBI in 7 games against the Marlins. Trevor Rogers pitched well against Washington here. I mean, he's got a 2.84 ERA in 25 career innings against the Nats. And, I mean, Mo will get into more of the nitty gritty here. It's just kind of an anomaly that Trevor Rogers has been this bad after a tremendous rookie season. And I think, against a lineup like the Nats, where you really only have to worry about Soto, he probably will get back on track and will probably have a lower scoring game, at least in the first half. I do expect Strasburg to pitch pretty well for maybe 5 innings before they give him the yank.
So this is a really weird game. I have no idea what to expect from either one of these pitchers. So that actually makes me kind of lean to the over in this one, and not just like the game over. I was thinking like you can just find whatever alternate total, because I think there's a large like right tail here where this game could get crazy. And it's just basically based on, not having any idea how to project these guys. Strasburg, he was a great pitcher. He's been a great pitcher his whole career, but he has not had a full season since 2019. And I was looking, one of the Fangraphs scouts checked out one of his rehab starts. He said sitting 88 to 92 with, quote, poor shape on his fastball. So it doesn't sound too promising there. Man, it makes me sad. I love to watch Strasburg. I hope he comes back strong, but does not look good. That thoracic outlet surgery that he had, it doesn't have a great history. Most guys, I think, do not come back anything close to what they were before. So the projections are basically thinking he's not a good pitcher anymore. They have him mid-4s ERA. And when you're talking about a guy who is not that far removed from his prime and has a 3.21 ERA, I mean, that's that's a pretty bearish projection. And then for Trevor Rogers, I just honestly have no idea what's going on. Fastball and changeup are just massively awful in terms of run values this year, or they were massively awesome last year and they're negative this year. And his swinging strikes have plummeted 14% to 9.8. It's really weird. Like, one of the things that's going on is batters are making way more contact outside the zone. That's usually not that great though. So I just don't have really an explanation here, other than I checked out his StatCast heat maps. Man, the pitches are going all over the place compared to like how tight and just how much better he was commanding his pitches last year. Like, his slider is not even that's his worst pitch. And he was dotting the corner pretty consistently last year. And his changeup is all over the place. It's just, he was able to command it to his arm side last year. And now it's left, right, and center, and not any like hot zone at the bottom where he's really consistently placing it. So it seems to be a command issue. I would guess it's something to do with his mechanics. So he could fix it at any time. Like, if he just came out and looked like an all-star again, I wouldn't be surprised. But I guess right now I just don't expect it.
Yeah, I mean, with Strasburg, it's really about right now for him. I mean, that fastball is down under 92. He's definitely having to sort of, pitch to contact a little bit more than he ever has had to when he was getting that fastball up in the mid 90s. And the Marlins, they're the fourth best right now, WRC plus there against right-handed pitchers so far this season. So, I mean, that does help. If they're going to make contact with him, it might be good for them at that point. It might go far. Trevor Rogers has been a little bit of a different story too. I know you're talking about what's going on with him. The only thing I would say for the Marlins here too is, Rogers relies on that changeup, as you mentioned, and it does help him that the Nats are not good against the changeup. They're really not good anywhere. They're not good against the changeup. They're not good against the slider. A bunch of the pitchers that he throws as well. So I would say it's a little bit more of an edge actually for Rogers if you do like the Marlins in this one a bit, as I would consider. But let's finish things off here, guys, with the Pirates at the Braves. Your Bravos there, Mo, minus 275 for the Bravos. So big time favorites here, taking on Brubaker. If I'm saying that even correctly, I always mess it up. And Max Fried. And I just, at this point, what's there to believe in JD Brubaker? To really, why is he still starting? The Pirates are just really trying to eat innings at this point, it seems like. But start us off with this one, Nate. Where do you kick things off with the Pirates and the Bravos?
Yeah, looking for some ways to game the line here. Don't really want to take minus 275, but I think the Braves are basically a lock to win here, extend their winning streak to 8 games. So maybe you want to parlay it with another result you feel confident about here tonight. But I think we just want to look at the starting pitching here and them jumping on Brubaker early. To get the first half run line at minus 105 seems fine. I would consider the Pirates under 3 runs for the game, also minus 105 at FanDuel. Braves during the stretch averaging 7.4 runs, and their bullpen is suddenly lights out, 1.80 ERA in these 7 wins. So Max Fried, who's been solid for 3 or 4 straight starts now, also facing a Pirates lineup that's hitting 227 with a gross 89 weighted runs created plus against lefties. He should be solid. He's coming off 8 shutout innings in Coors, so I think he does just fine here at home against the Buccos. And I think, with the Braves lineup sporting that 148 runs created plus in their last 7, they should be all over Brubaker. He's given up 90% zone contact. He's struggled against lefties, given up a 53% fly ball rate. And so I would also look at some props here. Maybe Matt Olson plus 350 to hit a homer to drive in a couple runs, as well as some of the righties for the Braves. They're all dangerous.
Yeah, the Braves, I kind of see the Braves as NL version of the Jays right now. They're a real tough fade. Just a team that, like, a lot of good things were expected, basically, especially from the lineup, and they sucked for the first month and a half relative to expectation for sure. And both offenses are really coming to life right now. You don't want to fade them right now. And Max Fried has been, we've talked about him before. We've talked about both of these pitchers on here before. Max Fried has ascended to acedom, basically. He has added a changeup, and it's really been a great addition for him. All of his pitches are looking positive, low exit velocity. The strikeouts aren't that impressive, but he's getting plenty of swinging strikes, plenty of chases. I think just batters just keep topping the ball basically before he can strike them out. And I would think honestly, any sort of like Braves alternate line might be okay here, because we talked about the market just does not have the handle on Brubaker, does not pitch to his peripherals. I mean, multiple years now of that happening, and just something I honestly expect to continue, but the projections maybe don't. So I think Braves roll. I honestly think that like laying something around minus 250 isn't the worst here. I did have the Braves actually even a little bigger favorites than that.
Yeah, and just banking on the Bravos lineup right now to crush Brubaker seems like a pretty good bet as well. So I would jump on that. And that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us as we're bringing you these videos each and every weekday of this MLB regular season. So until we see you next, happy betting.